the way.
We're wanted men.
I have spoken.
Welcome to episode 289 of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. We are after Toylanta, the week after Toylanta review show. I'm Glenn. There's Jason. My microphone sounds kind of weird. It sounds good on your end, Jason.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound. There we go. I hate this mic. This microphone's cool, but it's got a mix to where what's coming through the microphone and what's coming through the computer can do things weird, and I wasn't set right, but I'm set right now, so we're good. I'm here. Everything's good here. How you been, Jason? It's been a minute.
Great.
We hadn't seen each other in like 3 days.
Yeah. My kids are both at the Braves game, and neither one of them knew that the other was going to be there. And I just got a message from both of them that they're there. So
Did you get a picture of them together and you're like,
yeah,
hey, look who I found at the Braves game.
yeah, great. Not my problem. You're each other's problem.
You guys are supposed to like each other, so have fun.
But now I could focus on the show. Welcome to the show. I'm excited because I know we'll be all over the place, but we had our meetup, and everybody that was at the little meetup at 3:00 is coming to Rogue Fun. So it was great.
That's awesome.
It was like a little preview, and then afterwards, after the event, I went with Tony and Barry, Jason and Alex to pizza.
Yeah, I tried getting there, but my schedule just did not work right.
But as I told Barry, like, thanks for meeting up, because when Rogue Fun happens, I'll be pulled in a million different directions, and it's going to be very difficult to have the quality time that I want to have with each attendee.
Right.
And so it's like this was like that pre-attempt to kind of have some quality time, because who knows what's going to happen in 4 weeks. Short weeks.
Short, Jesus. That is scary that it's like right there.
It's right there.
It's right there. And we're getting ready to do stuff, and it's like, wow, it's right there. Time to go.
Yeah, we've got a volunteer event this weekend where we'll be assembling things. I was talking to Tony. He's like, "What volunteer event?" I was like, I invited you to this thing. I don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna be getting ready." He's like, "I wasn't invited." And I'm like, I pulled up my phone. I'm like, "Yes, you did." He's like,
"Look right here, Tony."
Yeah.
Is
I
it
had the
coming?
receipt. I think so. We'll find out.
It's a long drive for him. I know.
It is, but luckily there's the treasure. Sorry to interrupt. The treasure hunt. I'm just going to say I'm sorry now for interrupting for the rest of the show, so I don't have to keep apologizing.
Okay, fine. And Jason, I forgive you because you seem excited, and I like seeing your energy. It's been a minute since you brought some energy. You've been this excited, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm happy to see it.
No, there's a treasure hunt antique toy show, the biannual thing that's happening this Saturday. So if Tony came out for that, then he can come to my place and then he can head home.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I got to bring my dog to the groomers, and then I can go to the toy show, and then I can go to Jason's. So
but there's a lot, and I'm working on the final details now, and it's something that we haven't announced yet, and I need to make an announcement. So as part of the event swag, we made fan club buttons. You remember the buttons that had all the characters on it in the 70s? The little 1-inch button, and they've got like lines around it with a black and white image.
Yes.
We made fan club buttons for all the Cantina aliens. They looked almost exactly alike. We used the same colors, the same
You're
design.
good at doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it looks legit, other than it's brand new.
And it says Rogue Fun on it.
Yeah, and it hasn't been banged around for 50 years. But we decided to name the characters um the names that they would have had in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
So it's not Dr. Evazan, it's Grubby Ugly Human, a Grubby Ugly Man, or it's Walrus Man and
That's
Hammerhead, and the Tanaka sisters are Space Girls because that's what they would have been named if that series had been continued and they made buttons on the Canteen aliens.
right. That's awesome.
But the whole idea of Rogue Fun is bringing people together. It's not just to do the panels, it's about the community and trying to build that community. So when we hand these buttons out, there's what, 12, 13 of them.
Yeah.
You'll get only one of them. And so it's going to be up to you to trade them out.
Well, you'll get 13 of the one.
The one, yeah. So you might get 13 Walrus Men. And I think it'd be nice, might be a good idea for people to put that pin on them.
Uh-huh.
So if you're missing Walrus Man, you'd be like, "Hey, what's your name? Hey, I'm so and so. I'm looking for Walrus Man. Here's Hammerhead." You can make that trade that way, and then you're meeting people you don't know. And if you collect them all, just like back in the day, you got a business card that said you're part of the fan club.
Yeah.
You'll get a business card that says you're part of the fun club.
Ooh.
And on top of that, the fun club is the that card is a little bit different. It's got an NFC chip in it. So if
Uh-huh.
you scan it, it'll take you to the cantina scene.
Oh, nice.
However, there's 7 that take you to a special video. This is the
Ooh.
golden ticket idea,
I've got a golden ticket.
and you'll get the Wookiee Monster. So I went.
Oh, so that's how you're gonna get the Wookiee
That's how you
monsters.
get the Wookiee Monster. So around Christmas time, the Cookie Monster kept hitting store shelves at Ross. So I went out and I collected as many Cookie Monsters as I could get and made my own custom card back. So there's going to be one for the auction, and he'll be carded on the Wookiee Monster card back that says Kashyyyk Tree instead of Sesame Street. And I've painted him up to look like the Wookiee Monster. But if you get the Fun Club card that takes you to that special video, you get a Wookiee Monster action figure. And there's only 7 of them. And that was a hassle today because Ryan had shipped me, Ryan Shaw, who's a sculptor extraordinaire,
Mhm.
sculpted, he got one of those Cookie Monsters and he sculpted a bandolier on it. And
Yeah.
instead of the little whatever packs he's got, they're cookies. So it's cookies in the bandolier.
That's awesome.
So he sent it to me and I got it and he put in the resin that I need in 2
Uh-huh.
parts and some of the resin was leaking. So I quickly like set them up right. And
Hmm.
then I haven't got to them because they've been pulled in 12 million different directions.
Recording a crappy podcast is one of them.
Yeah, one of them. And I finally go to do it and I realized that I had flipped them upside down. So all the resin had
Oh.
leaked out. So I had to order some on Amazon and it finally came today, but you got 10 minutes for this resin
Mhm.
and my timing was off and it was getting everywhere. I got some resin on my hand. I have spray foam insulation because I got attacked by a squirrel last weekend. I can get into that in a
Oh,
minute. So
fun.
I got all this stuff on my hands right now. I gotta
Yeah, because we went out last weekend and you had paint all over your hands. So yeah,
yep,
you just
paint.
paint and
Maybe I should invest in some latex gloves.
maybe
Maybe. So
maybe you should.
so I finished the first Wookiee Monster and it feels good. It took me 3 attempts. He's covered in like white resin, so I have to scrape some of that resin off and repaint
Uh,
him. But that's the least of my concerns. The painting will be a cakewalk for me. It's getting the resin to the right point. And
so are you having to? He sent you a mold and you're having to mold them?
yeah, it's a push mold.
Uh-huh.
So I have to put the mold into it covers his body.
Uh-huh.
And so I have to put the resin into this push mold and then I have to push Cookie Monster into the mold and kind of shake
Oh,
it back and forth to make sure the resin gets everywhere. And then when 10 minutes hits, that's when I pull it off and it's there.
okay.
It's
Sounds
fun.
fun.
It is. One down, 6 to go, 7 to go, something like that.
Well, hopefully everybody will get a Cookie Monster, or everybody, you'll be able to get the enough people to do it.
Well,
Now, did you, huh?
it's motivation to get people to trade and get the full set of the buttons.
Now, do you know what cards are marked, or do you mark the cards a certain way, or is it blind?
It's
Total blind.
blind. Yeah, it's blind. I know there's seven of them, and I'll probably check them before we distribute them and then shuffle them all together, and then
Uh,
it's at random.
nice. All
So
right. Cool.
something different. I'm
Yeah.
trying to marry the Center of Puppetry Arts and Star Wars a little bit with the Wookiee Monster theme. That's the whole
Yeah.
idea, so people don't think it's like, well, Cookie Monster, where's that coming from? Well, Cookie Monster's at the Center for Puppetry Arts.
Right. Yeah. No, I was driving by there a few times because it's in downtown Atlanta, so I'm down there pretty often. And I really wanted to take a picture of it and send it to the guys, and I didn't. But maybe I should have. Be like, look where I'm at. One more month. Give you some anxious jitters.
Yeah, well, I don't need additional anxious jitters. They're already there. They're pre-existing condition.
Oh goodness. So any other news? Any other new things?
Um,
Or do you want to talk about Toylanta before? Because you look like you were surprised, like, oh crap, we're going to news.
no, we could talk news. Last week was a big week outside of Toylanta news.
Yeah.
There was a brand new launch of Star Wars toys.
Which ones were they? The Grogu one? No.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Which
Were
what are you
they more
talking about?
Grogus?
What are you talking about? Yeah, it's for Mando and Grogu, and the official launch was like March 22nd,
Mhm.
and nothing happened. I mean, this is probably the blandest, dumbest, quietest, ridiculous-ist, I know that's not a
Yeah.
word, but launch of toys for Star Wars in a long time. No Midnight Madness. It was just a little,
Here we go. Here's some toys.
yeah. Did my little pop come across?
It did. I
Okay.
heard it. I heard it.
Never know with Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Which ones did they? I don't even. I know I get the
it was
emails, but
Black Series, which some guy had, and he labeled them exclusive at Toylanta. Like he had all the new Black Series, all the new vintage
I
collection.
saw that.
And I'm like, dude, you're not an exclusive. There's other booths with those things.
Right.
But
They were exclusive to him or exclusive to Target or
I think he was saying they're exclusive to him in the show because nobody had them in bulk like he did.
oh, that just means he went to Target and bought them all.
Maybe.
How
But
much was
his
he selling them for?
I don't I think they were like 30 bucks for the Black Series.
Okay, so he
So
wasn't charging too much.
no, it wasn't overpriced scalping. I mean, it was
Mhm.
a little bit more, but he's got his booth he's got to pay for in Toylanta.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's just like no fanfare, no publicity stunts, no like, hey, come on out and get a free poster at Walmart on midnight to get your Star Wars toys. It's those days are over, and Star Wars is just part as a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
not the machine itself.
No, you it is it's yeah. There's no cupcakes. I remember, walking into Walmart and there being cupcakes. Well, oh no, I remember where I was going now. You'll be lucky to even find the toys on the shelves,
Yeah, yeah.
let alone have an event because they're having toys. So
There's something on my tongue, and I hope it's not resin. It's probably like dinner in my teeth, but because we're recording Monday night, it was a busy weekend.
yeah, it was definitely a very busy weekend. Yeah.
Um, Vi Maradi
Mhm.
won't be in Batu West anymore, much longer in California. She's the
Oh,
character that they made up for Galaxy's Edge. She had her own book, which the book is great,
yeah, the book was good. I
but
enjoyed it.
I just don't know if a book is enough to get people
It,
interested and bought in on a character. But she's no longer going to be seen in California, probably because they're changing up the timeline a little bit.
yeah, because I think I read the book before we went to Galaxy's Edge, and I think I knew more about the character than she did, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a local author too. I've met her.
Yeah.
She's written some good stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a good book.
Yeah, it was a good book.
Times change.
Yeah, times change, and it made Galaxy's Edge feel bigger than it does, and there was like, oh, there's stuff we can do in Galaxy's Edge, and none of it was real.
Yeah. Congratulations to Alan Tudyk.
Yeah,
He's now a Disney legend.
yeah.
He's going to be honored as a legend. He did Hey Hey, and he did the mayor, governor in Frozen. He does a lot of the Disney. He's in every Disney movie as a
Hmm.
character.
Oh, that's cool.
Because in for Hey Hey and Moana, he was a chicken, so he was just making chicken noises.
I'm a Disney legend now.
So that happened, and then Bob Iger's like he retires one day, and the next day he's a Disney legend.
Oh, geez.
But whatever.
I'm retiring, but I want to be a legend.
It was completely independent. It had nothing to do with him retiring and
Okay. Uh-huh. Sure.
or egos. I don't know. We were talking. I don't know if it was last weekend, the weekend before, about a micro galaxy squadron size Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Any guesses on how big that would be?
I saw somebody post it on
Yes.
Facebook. Is that what
Yeah.
we're talking about?
Yes.
It's the size of a house.
It's 72 feet.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big. It's sizable.
So there you go. That's why.
That's
Well, and truthfully, I didn't realize how big the Star Destroyers were till I saw you scale your 3D one with a proper scale TIE fighter. And the TIE fighter is like a half an inch
I was
big.
I didn't do the math before I printed that, and I printed it as big as my printers would allow me.
Uh-huh.
And I was hoping it would be micro machine scale
Oh,
for those TIE fighters, and it's still too small. Or yeah, it's still wait, it's too small for the micro machine scale. So
wow.
that's why I had to print my own small, tiny ones to show scale.
Yeah, so it's once you see that, you're like these things are huge.
Images were leaked out of China that shows a fully painted Sabine TIE fighter as opposed to like the half painted one.
Ooh,
So even
okay.
even the cockpit is painted.
Okay.
So and that's micro galaxy scale. And there's no news with it. There's just
Mhm.
speculation, and I speculate it's going to be one of these limited, like one of 3,000 releases that they do every time, every so often, where they
Yeah.
do additional paint.
Is that in
So
the Micro Galaxy Facebook?
I don't remember where I saw that, but yeah, I think that's probably a good bet.
Hmm.
But the cockpit was painted because it was just the outer wings that were painted, right, on the
What was
tie.
the cockpit and the inner wings, I think, were painted.
So I don't think that's somebody. I don't think that's a hobbyist out in China. I think that's probably a limited release coming.
Interesting.
And then there's a new Micro Galaxy Squadron Razor Crest with Zeb
Yeah.
and blast effects coming to Target. It's already on sale. If you order it right now, it's like 23 bucks marked down from 30.
Well, Target also did do a big a sale like right after all that stuff. Right after it was released, Target had
Yeah.
like a 20% off sale.
I think it's crazy that Walmart had its own Razor Crest exclusive and now Target does.
Oh, so they're two different Razor Crests.
Yeah, one's got Zeb and the blast effects. The other one is more of a traditional single vehicle, no additional accessories. It's just
Mm.
we'll see. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Interesting.
And that's it for the news. It's some talking points, but I can get into that some other time.
Okay. So you had mentioned the um Batu in the East Coast or West Coast was changing timeline and getting rid of Vi. Do you think they're going to change the radar on the Millennium Falcon?
Now, no, thinking it through and trying to be a realist about it, Disney's not going to invest the money into doing something that minute. I mean, that's not a cheap thing. You got to make the radar, you got to pay for someone to engineer the radar, and then you've got to bring in the equipment to raise it and move it, and then put the new one in place and bolt it down.
Mhm.
I think it's too expensive for Disney to revise that.
I know it's going to trigger some people though. The nerds like us may be triggered.
To go from the square one back to the round one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's happening. I think it's fully stuck where it is. I know what you're saying. Like there's Han Solo, young A New Hope Han Solo, and there's the square dish. That's not right.
Right. Or maybe just knock it off. I don't know. Well, I guess you couldn't, could you?
It looks weird without the antenna.
Yeah.
It's a needed item to go on that ship. Otherwise, it just doesn't look right.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious because there's some TikTokers that I think would lose their mind if they did
Oh,
not.
people on the internet would lose their mind. This is news to me. I didn't know that would happen on the internet.
What? No.
No,
Internet.
that doesn't happen. What are you
Why would they
talking
lose
about?
their mind?
People losing their mind on the internet?
All right.
Again, we've gone from don't trust anything that you read on the internet and don't get in strangers with cars to order a car from a stranger on the internet.
Right. Ride from a stranger in his car on the internet.
Yeah. So that's how far we've gone in 20 years with the internet.
You're right.
25, 30, you're getting up there.
And yeah, and everybody's getting their news from the internet. And it's like you need to stop, people. Uh, so any there's that's everything, right? All the news.
That's all the news. In Toylanta, I picked up the audio, what do you call it? The cassette tapes, the audiobook of
Yeah,
Heir to the
audiobooks.
Empire
Yeah.
trilogy. But I think it's abridged because there's only, I think, I haven't opened them up yet, two tapes per
Okay.
book. So I think that's, was it 45 minutes per side on a cassette
Yeah, I
tape?
think so.
So, I mean, it's not the full book. It's got to be abridged.
Yeah. I did look and I saw that I had those too, so maybe I need to look and see if mine are abridged or not or what.
I want to listen to them. I just don't have a cassette player in my car.
Right.
I have one downstairs, but I need to be like sitting on the couch and listening, which is
Yeah. I
weird. I
wonder if
probably
you can find it on like Spotify or something or
maybe it was one of
audiobook.
the one was read by Dennis Lawson, who played Wedge, who's Ewan McGregor's uncle, and the other two were Anthony Daniels. So there is some
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars voices there.
Mhm.
One said like special effects featured in the movies. I'm like, oh, cool.
Ding, 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 ding. If that came through or not.
Yeah, that did.
Awesome.
I don't know if it was awesome.
I don't know either. It was bad.
Are you wearing your pockets inside out?
No, I just got the hat.
No.
Just got the hat. I did buy this at Toylanta.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
I thought you'd say something about it when you saw it, but you were just like, yeah, let that idiot have that idiotic hat.
No, I have one.
Yeah. No, I bought this. This is from Bull Airs, the people who make those tennis shoes. I bought the Marty McFly Back to the Future hat, or a hat that looks like it. It's not the same. It's a more modern cut. But after I got it and got it home, I'm like, I don't think this thing's very breathable, so I don't know how much I'm gonna wear it.
Sweaty head.
Yeah, sweaty head. It may end up being a winter hat.
Hmm.
But yeah, I picked this up. I picked up Operation Monster Force. They did a Frankenstein's monster. Picked that up. Um, that's a line that I was really excited about, and then it got pushed back about a year, and I ended up canceling everything. But I've always liked that figure, so they were at Toylanta, and I picked him up. Picked up um, a Spider-Man Secret Wars. I picked up a Doc Ock Secret Wars. I picked up a Gigawatt, which is the Transformer
Yeah.
crossover with
Yeah.
Back to the Future. I've had one, but I wanted one to open so that I can transform it and keep them together. And of course, our buddy
When to
Jesse
open, when to
is,
keep.
yes, one to open, one to keep. Well, they gone down. They were like 40, like 30, $40. I think they were around 40 when they first came out. I picked this one up for like 25. So I was like, if I can get it down to about half price, I'll pick one up and open it. Um, so our buddy Jesse was like, so you don't have a problem with the Transformers and Back to the Future crossover?
I don't care.
So it's not a big deal now, is basically what he said. So yeah, it's a cool figure, but I miss the days of, it's been probably 20 years since I played with a Transformer. So I miss the days of they're being die cast, and they feel so cheap now because they're all plastic.
Mm.
Um, and then I picked up one of those old school like carnival puzzles for that was Darth Vader, because
Yes.
Barry had the Ewok one, and I was like, where'd you find that? Because it's just odd. You know what I mean? I'm at the
Yeah.
point now, it's like that's odd, and it looks like it'd be fun and reasonably inexpensive.
Well, Barry was saying that the copyright on it was 1989.
Okay.
which is long into the dark times.
Right.
Lucasfilm has kind of abandoned it. So yeah, it's either a carnival thing, like you're saying. It's one of those puzzles where there's tiles and you have to move the tiles so people understand what we're talking about. And then at some point, your image is messed up because there's like 9 tiles that are it's probably 12, something
Yeah.
like 11 tiles, and you got to move the tiles to get everybody back into it and make the image. But the copyright was 1989, which is either like a carnival thing or maybe Star Tours was
Yeah.
his theory. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was only $10, so I was able to find that because he's like, oh, there's a. I really, if I could have found the Ewok one, I would have bought that before the Darth Vader one. But as Darth, it's still a cool thing to throw in the collection to put with all the stuff like that. And I think that's all I got. Oh, and then I got a PSP from Barry, a movie of Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
So I was walking around there, and Jordan's just like, "You have a PSP
Yep.
Bill and Ted movie?" I was like, "Yes, I do."
Yes.
Which is the PlayStation, plays on the PlayStation Portable, right? Is that
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
yeah.
I never had one, but I think the batteries only last like an hour, and then you have to put in new batteries.
Yeah.
It's not fun, but
No.
especially on a long car ride where you have to load up on batteries.
What's funny is like when I took my grandson to Universal, he was like, "Okay, where's the charger?" So he knew exactly what to do. He knew where to find my charger and plug it in and on a Switch, and he just played Switch for seven
I'll
hours, and
see
he
you in
was in
six
heaven.
hours.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, "Awesome, you're
I'll
doing
see you in
great."
Orlando.
Yeah.
Bye.
I didn't care. It was just me and him. I'm like, as long as you're occupied and aren't bugging me every 5 minutes, we're awesome.
Mhm.
So yeah, I took my grandkids. This was their first Toylanta that they could remember. So it was fun. They were actually really good. I was really surprised and I was really proud of Riley, my grandson, because he wanted a Lego piece for his Lego figures that they hold they're like sheaths for holding for ninja swords on their backs. And he's like, this is what I want to find. I was like, what are you looking for? He's like, this. And it's, a piece for a minifig. And we found a guy that was making minifigs, like make your own minifig. So he found it and he was excited. And then we went back later because there was like 2 minifigs for $5. And I was like, both my grandkids can have something cool for $5. So we went back later and did that and we did it twice. So he got 2 figures and he kept looking at stuff and I'm like, all right, we're gonna come back later. Let's look around. And he looked at me later and he's like in the day, and I'm like, is this I said I want to make one more round. He's like, is this the later round? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, when we buy everything. You keep saying later.
Later.
So, but he ended up getting like another ninja minifig, but he was wanting like
Nigugu.
Pokemon cards and stuff. And I'm like, what do you want? Do you want Legos or do you want Pokemon cards? And he's like, I've got 3 binders of Pokemon cards. I was like, well, there's your answer. You're gonna get a Lego figure. So yeah, that's what they got. And then my granddaughter, I got her a Lego set that my daughter wouldn't buy her because it was Minecraft, and my daughter's like, why am I gonna buy you a Lego Minecraft? And I'm like, whatever. So I bought her that, and she was pretty excited. So the grandkids were
They're happy.
they're happy. What are your overall thoughts on the new setup this year, or this year's setup, or
I like the setup. I like to it's bigger space,
yeah.
more vendors. I'm not a fan. This is personal opinion. You can be mad at me and say whatever you want. I'm not a fan of the big corporate people coming in and selling their toys. And
Mm,
I was hearing things here and there, behind the scene tidbits about some of these companies and how
huh.
I don't want to get into it, but like a lot of these people, there's lines wrapping around the entire building to come in. You still there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's
My
there's a line of people waiting to come to Toylanta, and they just run to Mythic Legions. They get their stuff, and then they leave for the weekend.
yeah,
Which is as a toy show runner, producer, I'd be happy because they sold tickets. But
yeah.
as somebody who's vending this thing, well, come over to my thing. Like while you're here, you should walk around. That's not happening. They're just grabbing their figures and going. And
Was it that noticeable? Because I didn't I got there.
To some of the people that I talked to, I wasn't there Friday night, but
Yeah. I would imagine on Friday night it would maybe be like that because I know Mythic Legions. The first time I saw them at a Toylanta, they were doing, they had found some new old stock stuff and was bringing and had brought it. So there was stuff that were selling for hundreds of dollars on the internet, and you were able to find it for normal price at Toylanta. So I don't know if they did. I'm assuming they didn't do that, but yeah, I do hear that Mythic Legions does bring a crowd, but that's all they're there for is the Mythic Legions and to find
yeah.
people that are selling Mythic Legions on the
Hmm.
back end. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about. I was not happy seeing all the corporate people there, at least through all the Instagram posts and everything. I think they did a pretty decent job spreading them out, but I like the way like Celebration does it, where all the corporations are kind of lumped in one corner. At least the one I don't remember how it was in. Yeah, but yeah, that's right. They do kind of lump all the corporations in one corner and then all the vendors in another corner. So maybe that's something Toylanta could look at next year, to where you've got all your corporate people in one spot. Unless you're thinking you spread them out, then it forces people to look around.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it wasn't as disrupting as it was in the past. Truthfully, I barely even paid attention to the Mythic Legion stuff this year, but I'm not looking for Mythics anymore. So,
Yeah.
um, I'd say there was probably like 10, maybe, corporations there
Hmm.
still selling their wares. And this one, the Bull Airs one, I was kind of weird because those are the people that make the really high end shoes. I was like, why are you guys here? Are you
Yeah.
just to sell hats and t-shirts or what? Because everybody knows you guys.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. I know maybe it brings people in again. Maybe they're
Yeah.
making this more of a convention, but we've got all these other, there's Collector Con, there's Anime Con, there's all these different cons in Atlanta. We don't need Toylanta to become just a generic convention.
Yeah. No, I get it. I noticed there was a lot more autographs because I'm trying to,
Homogenized.
huh?
Homogenized was the word I was looking for.
So we had gone, like there was one last row. I was like, let's, because it was definitely overwhelming because we got there like 11:30 on Saturday and it was packed. And we went to like we'd walk the main aisle and kind of looked around for a minute, and then I was like, let's go over here and start all the way to the left. Well, that was where all the autographs were. So I was like, this is kind of a waste. Not a waste, but it was
Skip.
like, yeah, it was like skip because they're
This is
all
where the 12-inch Joes used to be.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So yeah, there was no 12-inch Joes. So that
I
was
think
that
that
was
was
kind of
Tony's
weird.
joke, if I remember right.
Oh, that's what Tony's joke. You can steal that from
I
Tony.
remember that. I think so, yeah. I'll give
Yeah,
Tony credit.
that's a great joke because that would be about right. That's where the
Yeah.
12-inch Joes used to be. Um, so and there was a lot of 3D printed stuff. I just don't. I know you do your 3D printed stuff, but at least it was maybe all different. But I know once you get into that kind of, you're just like, how many dragons do I need? How many this do I need? And of course, my grandkids were right to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I
And I'm
wasn't
like,
paying attention to those little dragons. It was more the other stuff, the scene setting stuff that I really like. There were some towers from Zelda. I was like, I need to get that file.
yeah,
I need to
no.
print that myself.
Well, the thing is that kind of stuff I'm okay with because it adds, I think, to the collection. That if you go there and there's like, here's a 3D printed head that I did or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't okay, let me rephrase that or start over again. The 3D printed heads I don't think are as good a quality as like somebody printing a background because I think the 3D printed backgrounds they 3D print it and then they paint them or something, so they look really good.
Hmm.
Uh, and I know you 3D print, so I don't know how much time some of that stuff takes. Um,
Days.
days. So
Days.
even if you've got can you get a faster 3D printer?
Yeah,
Not. I'm
there's
talking
so
like
much. They're probably like three times faster than what I have now.
the dragons and stuff. Those probably,
Dragons. They
huh?
make a lot of money with those dragons.
Yeah.
He- um, Etsy's cleaned up their stuff because it got to be a lot of that 3D printed junk.
Hmm.
But people love those dragons.
Yeah. I mean, I think my grandson might have wanted one, and I'm like, you don't need a dragon. And the guy was trying to sell them. I think he was wanting like 15 or $20
Yeah.
for them. And
Yeah. They're pretty cheap to print, and there's a clear markup there.
yeah. So I was like, I'm not paying $12 or $20 for you to get another damn dragon. Uh, but yeah, no, I was it was definitely overwhelming because my granddaughter looked at me and was like, "There's a lot of people here."
Yeah,
So
and again, there's no scientific studies here. I'm just, walking by people's booths, but there was that one guy who does really good quality foam backdrops.
yeah.
Last year, I mean, we were there all weekend last year. This year we were only there just Saturday,
Mhm.
but he had quite a bit still left on Saturday
Right.
of those backdrops, whereas last year he completely sold out.
Right. Well, maybe he made double and
So yeah, either he made double or the audience just wasn't there for that, which
Mhm.
is a little alarming if that's the case. I don't know. I fully admit that I don't know. I don't have all the facts.
Yeah, I know I was asking everybody because I mean, I'm like, hey, did you guys have a good weekend? Because they're all our friends, when you're talking to our buddies, and they're all like, yeah, we're doing okay. I know like on Saturday, TK was like, well, I think I made my money back.
Hmm.
So he was like, okay, I'm at break even point, and it was noon on Saturday. So I would assume that's a good point to be at noon on Saturday. I know my grandkids are just like, a lot of people, Wampa. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're probably frustrated because they want to go to the next booth and
Yeah.
Wampa's talking to the vendor again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I kind of let them have a little bit of freedom. Like it's like, okay, you can go in this booth, but it's like don't touch anything or I got to keep an eye on them and yeah, I'll bring them again next year if they want to come. I mean, I had a good time with them. It just you spend extra money when you have them with you because you're like you got to buy them stuff. Um,
Yeah, for me, I was looking at a lot of the Star Wars stuff. In terms of micro machines, there was a couple that there was one booth that had some play sets, but they were all open and $20, and I wasn't interested. You hear the dogs?
no.
I do. Um, close the door.
Dad, let me in. Dad, let me in.
No, that's not what they're. And so there's no action fleet, which I was frustrated with because I
Yeah.
wanted something from that. Some of the box stuff that I don't have. I have a lot of open stuff. I was just looking
Mm,
for box stuff.
yeah.
Um, a lot of high end stuff, and it was like, if we have the complete figure, it's going to be very expensive, even
Yeah.
open. There was a yak face for what, 675. Another one was 750.
Yeah. Did you see the DT bin?
Yeah, there was DT Ben, CAS graded. Was it 60? Because
Yeah, it
the
was it was 60 or 65. It was really low.
it was $8,000 and the filament was broken.
Yeah. And my buddy, that's a transformer guy, was like, that seems a little high. And I said, it's probably about right. I'd have to do a little bit of research, but they didn't make many of those. And yes, the
No,
filament's broken, and yes, it graded low, but it's a DT bin.
yeah,
It may be 1,000 off, but it's not far off.
yeah. So, but I was wondering what will be the first figure to hit $1,000 loose?
Ooh.
Is it going to be R2 or Yak Face? I didn't see any pop-up Saber R2s.
Both of those are about, yeah, they're pushing each other pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
I was surprised that there was yak faces going, or they were asking $600 still for a yak face.
Well, one was 750,
Yeah.
which is even more
And I bought
when you
mine
do the
for,
math
yeah, I
as a
bought
joke.
mine for two and a quarter in 2017. So I'm surprised that they're still asking that much for them.
Yeah. Um,
I don't, and then I saw a blue snag. I mean, he was beautiful. He was like 80 and they were wanting like $700 or six. It was high up there. It was a lot of money, but I mean, he was silver. His boots were nice silver boots.
mint.
Yeah, he was minty.
Dead mint.
Well, not at an 80, but
Um, but yeah, like that's what I saw. I did enjoy going into some of those I don't want to say the knick-knack boots, but the ones
yeah,
that had a little bit of everything, and
yeah,
I would go digging and just seeing if they had anything cool.
yeah.
But there's
That was
really
a little bit tougher with the grandkids there. Plus, I'm not really a digger, but I kind of wanted to be this show, hoping I'd find something. Um, there was I think the Star Wars stuff was a lot of high end Star Wars
Yeah,
stuff, which is something I think we've kind of been like wanting to happen at Toylanta, and this year it happened, and we were just like,
a little too expensive,
yeah,
especially with my own convention right around the corner. I'm still
right,
buying stuff and polishing things. So my budget was tight this time around, and I couldn't invest in a lot of things, but
yeah,
a lot of good stuff to look at. There was that one Star Wars store booth that had a lot of high end, different foreign variants on
mhm,
card. They had the Return of the Jedi case, which is tough to come by.
mhm.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah. It was definitely a lot of good quality Star Wars stuff. I thought it was a good mix of the cheaper or more inexpensive stuff and then the higher end stuff. I saw that there was a lot of, dig through bins, but at a show like that, probably people have already dug through them. So I
Yeah.
was kind of hoping to find a Red Bar R5 for $40, but
This this one booth had, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
yeah.
There's this one booth, Tony wanted the Jar Jar. It's the Lost line in the vintage collection, so it's got the blue Star Wars and it's outlined almost like as a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking card.
Yeah, they made six of them, and Tony wanted the Jar Jar, and they asked how much, and he's like $35. He's like, oh, cool. So he gave him the money. He's like, I was expecting it to be so much more, and the guy's like, wait, how much? And Tony's like, well, I mean, I think people ask $1,000 for this lei. He's like, oh, really? I would have sold it to you for $35. And I was like, I should have bought the Leia for $35.
Was it really $1,000 Leia?
No, $100 Leia. Did I say a
$100.
thousand?
Okay. Yeah, you said thousand.
$100. I'm sorry. I'm thinking 100.
Yeah.
But I
Wow.
didn't say it. But no, it was $35. It was a
Mm,
deal for those.
yeah.
So, but he's like, thanks. We're gonna take care of it. Make sure we give it the proper pricing.
We're going to make it right, kid. We
We're gonna
think.
make it right for the store. We're gonna make our money back. Don't worry about us. But I was walking
Oh,
by one booth and overheard some guy talking about Star Wars Black Series and how nothing is really selling because Star Wars kind of has a black eye right now. That was his word.
yeah.
So it's not just our sentiment. And I heard it from someone else. That doesn't mean that it could be confirmation bias, but it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, somebody was asking me about Black Series, and I'm like, I'm not paying $30 for a Star Wars Black Series figure. Um,
Yeah,
y-
plenty of targets and Ross throwing up things out there too.
yeah, I didn't pay attention to a whole lot, but I know somebody in one of the Facebook groups, it's the RossCon Facebook group, was saying how he thought he'd seen a lot of Ross stuff at
Yeah,
Toylanta.
yeah,
Um, And maybe it's just I was paying more attention to the grandbabies than versus what I was going. But I was also I'm looking for such a finite amount of stuff that I think the people that know me, I put the word out what I'm looking for. I start asking people, so I would hope that somebody would point me in the right direction. I did see some R2D2 ceramics, but I'm like, is this all you got? And they're like, yeah. So there was no I couldn't find my Leia. Uh, but yeah, I mean. It just I don't know. I'm gonna get back on the Marvel, not Marvel Legends, the uh, Galactic, the Cosmic Legions and the Legions and stuff because when I bought that when you spend $40 on a figure from an independent toy company,
yeah.
they're so much better than the stuff Hasbro puts out for $10 cheaper.
Yeah, but I mean, you
Or
also got to remember that licensing thing
yeah,
plays a part. If you want the figure, you're gonna have to. That's just part of the deal, unfortunately. You're gonna get less than those independent companies, but at least
yeah.
you get the figure because those independent companies probably can't afford it.
Right. No, I get it. I understand, but you know what I mean. It's still, even though you understand it, it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. Um, because that Donner Party I got the Frankenstein's monster had three sets of hands. It came with the stand. It came with a bunch of weapons, and then the weapons had um firing at like you could put fire the when you shoot a gun. It has the blast. It had blast muzzle blast with it.
Yeah.
So
Did you hear about the Red Sonja figure from
no.
Mythic Legions?
No.
So Mythic Legions announced this figure that looked like Red Sonja because it was like a warrior lady with red hair.
Uh-huh.
And the people that own Red Sonja slapped them and said, "You can't do that. It looks a little too close like our copyright. It's
Oh,
IP infringement." And when you have intellectual property, you need to defend it constantly. Otherwise, there'll be grounds for somebody to come back and say, "Well, you didn't protect it there," which means, so these people need to protect it everywhere. Otherwise, they can lose that right to say that that looks too close.
uh-huh.
So I guess Mythic Legions released a figure with and I guess it was supposed to come with different heads.
Hmm.
The head it came on had the red head, but there's a brunette, a blonde, and they just popped out the red head from all the cases, and they just sold it with the blonde and the red.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, the blonde and the brunette. And then for Cosmic Legions, there's like an accessory pack,
Uh-huh.
and the head was in there. So Red Sonja, people can't come back and say, "Well, you sold the head." Well, yeah, that's part of our Cosmic Legion line. That has nothing to do with the mythic stuff.
Right.
But the head is interchangeable.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they talked to their lawyers, and their lawyers are like, "Here's a big loophole. At least you could still sell the head and get your
Yeah,
money back.
yeah. So
Probably make more money."
probably because now people are buying two things instead of the one.
Right.
They want the Red Sonja because they can't have the Red Sonja.
Right. Just like everybody all of a sudden wants to ride the Aerosmith roller coaster. Well, they're closing it down. Everybody needs to line up and go ride it.
But yeah, it was a good show. I could do less than the corporate stuff. I do think that takes away from the individuals who come to sell their items.
Hmm.
If you're going to a show with $100 and you spend $80 on the Mythic Legion stuff, you have only $20 for the rest of the booth.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it does take away from those other vendors.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
But to each their own. I know Jordan's there like, I love Mythic Legions. I love Spiro. I love Animal Beast Warriors of the Kingdom peoples. Whatever they're called. I don't care. They're wrestlers to me.
Yes. Oh, all wrestlers. They're all damn wrestlers. Yeah, no, I've had to really pull back on a lot of that stuff because I get so hyped up with those figures because the animal of the warrior kingdom or whatever. I know we're getting yelled at by Tony and
I
and
don't care.
and Jordan, and
Let them
those were
yell.
looking cool, but they were, they're like, okay, I really love these figures, and they're like, oh, that's series 3 or 4. These are the figures you can have now, and I'm like, I don't want those figures. I want series 3 or 4. So then you're just like, I'm not going to buy any of them because I'm not going to get into it in series 3 and 4. Um, so I've definitely had to back down. I had to, I was really tempted to buy the Darth Vader. They did a Dracula for Operation Monster Force that looks really cool. But I didn't buy him. I just bought, I'm like, I'm going to pick like 1 or 2 figures that I really like from the line and just buy those instead of going ape crazy, uh, go crazy over them. So I'm trying to limit myself on that kind of stuff. Um, so
Hmm.
yeah, and then there's Rogue Fun coming up. So
Yeah. Yeah. So
maybe I can.
if you're coming to Rogue Fun and it's Tuesday when you're listening to this and you haven't booked your hotel, go ahead and do that and use our link because it expires on April 2nd
Yeah.
and it's about $100 more.
Wow. We
I
got a
think
good deal on those hotel rooms.
yeah, I think it's about 150 and I think normally it's 200, 250.
Nice.
So you know what to do if you want a hotel room.
Smash that like button.
No, smash that link in the group to the
Smash
room
this
block.
link and subscribe.
The room block. We've sold out a lot of rooms.
Yeah, we did pretty good for that.
So
Yeah, no, that when you hear the amount of rooms we sold, I mean it's like wow, there's a lot of people staying at that hotel, and hopefully it'll be a not a sellout for us, but it'll be a lot of us in that hotel.
brought a lot of business to them.
Yeah,
Hopefully that makes them happy.
yeah, I
And
hope so.
we'll see. Us talking about another convention, another toy convention, and they're an annual thing, but like they sell so much that the hotel comps them the ballroom.
White, wow, yeah. I mean, if you can make that happen, yeah. There
But
was yeah, I don't remember. There was
it would
something
be
else
nice to
like
be in that position, is what I'm trying to say is that we've sold enough
well,
where we don't have
you're
to worry
you're
about the room.
right. You're also
There's
you're
catering
bringing
involved.
in like hundreds of people or thousands of people into that place.
Yeah. They'll use your bar. They'll eat your food.
Yeah.
Give us the
That's
room for free.
Dad, okay, so speaking of food, that's probably the only excuse. Okay, so I've got two like negatives towards the Gwinnett Arena. I love the room. The room's great because you're all in one room and you're not having. There's some stuff upstairs that I feel bad for those people that are upstairs because they don't do very good advertising that they're up there.
Yeah.
Um, but there's two things. So did your friend message you this year and be like, "Hey, there's a toy show"? Because there was the dance troupe thing going on.
No, no. I saw her today. I forgot to ask her that, my coworker.
So, but anyway, let me get back to my two real big complaints. The number one is parking. It's like $10 to park. I mean, you're going to pay for parking anywhere, but
Yeah.
last year it was like 5 and this year it was like 10.
Well, it's not just that. It's if you leave and you come back, you have to pay 10 again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you don't get a ticket or anything. You
Oh,
can't show that it's for the day. It's just for parking while you're there.
so it's no re-entry.
Right, because if you leave and go get Chick-fil-A for lunch and you come back, which is a deterrent to people coming back, because if you noticed well, there was less people after lunch
Right.
because they left and are coming back.
Yeah, 2 o'clock it was dead.
Why spend another $10 for parking? I've already gotten what I needed and took off.
Yeah, I would have I saw some people doing the Uber Eats thing for
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A,
yeah.
and ordering pizza and stuff, and just walking in there with 5 or 6 pizzas back to their booth. So, but that and then the eating thing because I didn't check it out this year, but I remember last year the food was really expensive. Like,
I got a sandwich, drink, and chips for $20, which
yeah, that's really expensive.
there wasn't much to the panini.
Uh-huh.
But if I went to Panera, I'd be spending, $14. So it's like $6 more.
Right.
And when you factor gas and trying to have to park again, it's
Yeah.
cheaper to eat there than it
Yeah,
is to
I get
come
you.
back.
Yeah, because that's what at like 4 o'clock, my grandson was like, I'm hungry and I want real food. I'm like, dude, you're just gonna have to, have a snack because I'm not buying pizza. I'm not spending $20 on a single serve pizza.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I felt kind of bad because like people would be like, "What's wrong, little guy?" He's like, "I'm hungry," and they're like, "You want a cheese stick?" And I'm like, "God, I'm such a horrible person." I've offered him everything.
Well,
So
that's kids.
yeah, they're kids. Well, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think they enjoyed it. I'm happy. Those are my only two complaints are the food and the pay to park. But I mean, I know there's a Starbucks on site. It was crowded and yeah, like at 2 o'clock, but like at any show about 2 o'clock, it dies.
Yeah.
I think with the size of it, I would have liked to have gone another day just to get one more look at everything. Because this was the first Toylanta in my wife and I were talking about it during dinner before we recorded. I think I've been going like 13 years, 13 or 14 years to Toylanta. And this is like the first one in at least 10 that I haven't gone the whole weekend.
Attorney of, I think Richard was telling us, Attorney of Dreams had 10% off on Saturday and Sunday was 20% off. Or one of those vendors, they were advertising, if you buy something today, it's 10%. If you buy something tomorrow, it's 20% off.
Wow. Yeah, normally on Sundays they do drop everything pretty decent, especially towards the end of the show because they want to get rid of it. Because I know that's what Barry was saying. They were like going to do one more loop on Sunday morning just to make sure, double check everything, make sure they didn't miss anything, and see if they can make some last minute, hey, I don't want to take this home deals.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping I had made mention that I had a sealed micro collection, and somebody was like, I know somebody who's looking for that, and they never got in touch with me. So that was kind of a bummer. So I was hoping I could have moved something, but it didn't happen. I was able to sell I had some of the new He-Man figures that I'd been buying and I was able to sell a tote. So like one of the first booths we got there and I'm like, hey, would you be interested in these? And he's like, sure. So I made a pretty decent deal on those. So that's my Rogue Fun money.
I don't have any Rogue Fund money.
Oh.
It is what it is.
Yeah, well, you make it maybe bring some stuff and sell it. I don't know. I'm gonna bring some stuff and try to sell it, see if I
Well,
can make some money
David
happen.
White, Jimmy Two Packs wants to buy my duplicate Micro Galaxy stuff, so I might have $40 there.
You're I did see somebody had a Ventress. I think they were asking ten
Yeah.
dollars for it.
No, man.
And
You just need
somebody
to
did have
chuck
a
it at this point.
yeah, somebody did have a I didn't see which one it was, but it was one of the chase and they were one I think like 1 or 150 for it. I was just like, that's not there anymore, guys.
No, the audience isn't there, and you're just looking at comps on
Yeah,
eBay, and that's not real. It's eBay is not a proper reflection of what's going on. Everybody knows this in the hobby, but it's just like it could be just two people battling and things
yeah,
get out of control. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to be paying that price. They could just be more into the moment of like, I gotta win.
right. Yeah, I thought price. I mean, like we said, the the Star Wars stuff was all high end box Star Wars stuff. So you know, and I'm so far about how I don't know where prices are right now. I'm not into it enough to know, you know. But I
There
mean,
was exclusives being sold from a Nashville convention
oh
at
yeah, I saw
one of the
those.
booths. And some guy was asking about it, and the booth owner was like, I don't know anything. It's just something custom." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just some Nashville convention."
Just some little Nashville convention. Yeah, I saw those. I almost took a picture of them and sent it to one of the chats, but I was trying to be. I was like, I gotta be good. Gotta be good.
Uh-oh, we just got a negative star review on our podcast. That really showed us.
Oh no.
We're being review bombed. Dang, you really stuck it to us.
I saw those and I was just like, "Oh, this is funny." That was funny seeing those in there.
Um, we did get a comment on YouTube. I'm gonna pull that up real quick from formerly the artist formerly known as Pit Stop Perspectives.
Oh, did you figure out who he was or no? It was
No, he changed his name to Bold City Bantha, and I think Bold City is Jacksonville.
okay.
I think Jacksonville's known as the Bold City.
Okay.
Um, he said, "I like the conversation about having a complete collection. A collection is complete whenever you, as the collector, says it is. Look at Steve Sansweet. He has the world's largest collection, and it's by no means complete in his opinion. That being said, someone who only wants five figures that they grew up with can also have a complete collection and be completely satisfied with that. If you collect what you love, you'll love what you've collected."
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Yeah, no, I agree
Should be
with that.
Dagobah perspectives because it's so wise. But yeah, well, if you have any thoughts about, well, if you were at Toylanta and you want to give us a counterpoint to anything we said here, go ahead and send us an email or message us on YouTube and let us know, and we'll make sure to bring that up next week. I also wanted to mention that, and I forgot last week, that 50 years ago, Star Wars: A New Hope was being filmed. They spent 2 weeks in the desert.
Jeez.
So as we record, 50 years ago, they were filming in the desert
With pink shorts, man.
with Pink Shorts, man. And then in April, they moved to the studios, L Street Studios, to film some of the interior stuff like the Death Star and the cantina. I think the cantina is coming up. I have a date. I have something scheduled on the date. And it's like, oh, 50 years ago.
I
It's
did speaking of cantinas, we went to the Lego store after we were done and they have a canteen those bricks, those
Mhm.
special bricks. They have a cantina that makes noise with the
Hmm.
brick.
That must have been the thing that I saw. It looked like it was more for 6-year-olds.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not their Duplo, but it's not the massive sets that they have.
Yeah, no, this is just a little set that's probably 6 inches at most.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was definitely that whole line seems like it's made for smaller kids, for littler kids. But they were showing us that you could like battle people and it keeps track. And if you hit it one too many times, it'll blow up, like make noise and stuff.
Boom, and
Yeah.
it blows up. So, yeah, we just got 4 more weekends until our little event.
Four more
Finally, after
weekends. How many more
after
sleeps?
a year planning this thing, it's
It's only
right
been a
around the
year.
corner. It's been longer actually,
Yeah.
if you really want to get into it, because we didn't make the announcement till May, but we had signed contracts long before that.
Yeah.
Um,
Isn't gonna do it? No. Oh, there we go.
Your fireworks.
Yeah.
Doesn't even sound like fireworks.
Right.
So the people driving have no clue what you're talking about.
Right. I just did thumbs up and had fireworks. Ping, ping, pow, pow, boom.
And thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. It really helps us out and points people to our show. You can follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback, and we'd love to make you part of our show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People, collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collective community. This is the way.
This is the way.